Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, put your feet up. It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast with Declan McCormack, Wayne Mullins, and Dan.
Three lads, one podcast.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, just what does Damien Delaney do? How much is Cathal O'Sullivan worth this week? All the reviews and previews, a bit of Penenka Patrol, and be sure to send us a dick pic. All this and more on this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. So this is Toe Tap Season 4, Episode 11, Episode 187 in total. A reminder, we are your award-winning podcast, and also a reminder, we are ranked the 10,651st football pod in France. We're 45th in sports in Trinidad and Tobago, and we're number 2 in Antarctica as a whole. A reminder, of course, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/Toe Tap. Something heavy reading there in the background. Join us on Patreon, €5 per month, flat fee for regular and extra pods. And you get a full back catalogue of all our episodes. Or if you want to support the pod a little bit further, throw us €10 if you please. We had Declan Carey on the pod this week for our Patreons. And we had Declan Coleman giving away insight into the absolute shit show of last season. That's now available to the public, so you can go back and have a listen to that one at your leisure. Be sure to retweet the pod, as it's so important to help us grow. Even the odd like works as well. And give us a follow on Instagram at the Other Three Amigos podcast. We're the proud sponsor of Jack Doherty's Boots. We're still at €80 for Marymount. We'll come into the Penenka Patrol a little bit later on. But and also be sure to check out Las Damas. They're now, what is it, a Women's National League, or what are they going with, Decky?
SSE Airtricity.
Yeah, Women's Division, is it?
SSE Airtricity Women's Premier Division, Daniel.
But Eileen is a fan of the Women's National League.
She is, but that is incorrect. Like, look, when the FAI email you and give you the correct name for something, the least you could do is then call it by the correct name.
Doing what the FAI tell you now as well, are you?
I'm just a puppet
after everything we've been through.
I've learned my lesson. They've whipped me into shape.
Well, we're already midway through conversation. I may as well introduce you. Declan McCormack, how are you?
I'm very good, Dan, and yourself, sir. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, sure, look, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Wayne Mullins.
Hello, lads.
How are you? What's the anger scale today? You look
mellow. No, I'm okay. I'm watching there's Islamabad against Karachi in cricket, and it's absolutely jammed. It's unbelievable.
I can never get the scoring in cricket. I just don't understand it at all.
I kind of understand it, but it's a bit slow, isn't it? Like, it's better than football these days. So,
Fair enough. Decky, how did a Cork City women's team get on at the weekend?
Not great, Dan. They lost 5-0 away in Galway. Little bit of issues around where the game was going to be played. It was supposed to be 5 o'clock kickoff in DC Park. Then the pitch wasn't good enough to play on. Cork City were already, 3/4 of the way up the country. Eventually the game was moved to Tuam, to the Astro in Tuam. And as I said, Galway ran out 5-0 winners.
Is that very disappointing off the back of the Piedmont game?
I think there was no stream because it was moved to Tuam, so it's very, very difficult to say. I've only seen the goals. Look, defensively, the goals were poor. There's no getting away from that. But I do think Galway are a very good side. I said it here last week that, Phil Trill was just so confident in his team's ability and maybe their ability to do something this season that it looked like a very good Galway performance, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go for the rest of the season.
I mean, Phil Trill 1 week, you had Ciara McCormack on this week. Where do you go from here, like?
Nowhere. We're not having any guests next week, just to let things settle for a little bit. Yeah, obviously Ciara is the new CEO of Treaty. We spoke a lot about mainly concentrating on the women's side, but obviously a lot of it applies across the club, and she's definitely looking to turn Treaty United into a fully professional outfit in both the men's and women's side of the club. Looking forward to next Friday night when Cork City arrive on with a big crowd, and I think she's going to get her first real experience of a League of Ireland Munster derby, so she's looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. She has extended an invitation to everybody at Toe Tap to visit the tea and sandwich room before the game, at halftime, after the game, whenever we want, so we might take her up in it, but you never know who else might be hanging around.
I heard that was better
areas,
than the Easy Living Suite. I heard it was the treaty's a lot more impressive, actually.
I've heard the same, actually.
Well, look,
Yeah.
we'll be able to make a comparison after Friday night anyway.
Wayne, you want to come in there?
Would you not get someone from Cork City on?
Get someone from Cork City on what? Wayne, behave now. Behave.
But it's amazing though. Like, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm going to listen to it tonight. They're very welcoming. Other clubs, they are. And I'm not. Well, I am. Okay, I am trying to stir it, but they are. Other clubs are being very good to us.
Well, other clubs
they are
want
across the board.
They want the publicity. They want to engage, and they want to, drive crowds, drive attendance, support the league as a whole. And
surely a podcast that lacks integrity and journalistic fantasticness.
Journalistic standards.
Standards, that's the word. See, I don't even know what the word was, so I'm obviously an uneducated podcaster talking.
I said last week I wasn't going to reference that kind of stuff anymore, and
well, I don't want to reference it, so I'm not
Yeah, but you're trying to draw me back into it again. When I'm
only looking out for a friend. I'm just saying you're doing a great job, and every club around the country are, helping you out and getting involved, and and it's doing quite well. And I said to you last year, you need to go national, and it has, and it's fair play to you. You only need 10 teams in the league anyway, so if one doesn't want to get involved, who really cares?
And look. To be honest, as we all know, it's really Eileen's podcast. Myself and John are just there as the fluffing and the packing, So Eileen is the star of the show, as always.
As she is.
Right, we get straight into it. Do you ever notice on the Cork City Academy Twitter, it's just hard to keep track of the results through?
Don't even it actually wrecked my head this week because they'll give you the team lineup. Great, they'll say someone scored after 11 minutes and then nothing anymore. It's horrendous. I understand they may not want to do certain things like scores over 5 or 6. At least say who wins the game.
Yeah.
I had a quick beforehand. The only one they gave was the 3-0 versus Kerry, and Waterford was 2 up at half time for the under 17s. Nothing else after. Didn't even see, under 20s no game, but yeah, finish what you started. Don't give the score. Say who won at least,
Yeah, absolutely. While I think of it now, by the way, and obviously he's in the senior team now, not the academy, but a big happy birthday to Jaden Numa. He is 16 years old today. I don't know if we have happy birthday music lined up, but big congrats to him. And what a week for him as well.
I don't think so.
We were. He got called up to the Irish under 17 Euro squad. Himself, Murray, and Cahill O'Sullivan. Fair play to those lads.
Absolutely, it's an honour to represent your country. So, at any level, fair play to them. Well deserved. Delighted for them.
The academy Twitter might be shite, but the actual footballing side of our academy is surely one of the top in the country, top 3 at least.
Yeah, it's always been good. It took a lull then about maybe 5 years ago. It's come back up again, but this time we're having players that are wanted. It's exciting.
Yeah, we'll get into Cahill O'Sullivan's value a little bit later on, but we'll go straight now to Commie Watch.
Commie Watch with Ivan Drago on the Other 3 Amigos podcast.
The fan we had on last week confirmed that he was blocked on both Twitter and Facebook. So obviously they took umbrage whatever was said on Twitter, and then went
chasing.
Right, we'll get him here on Facebook as well.
That's a slight worry, isn't it? I mean, I get if you do say something stupid, like if I say something to you, you might take offence and someone else mightn't take offence. That's understandable. But to go chasing him again and blocking him on a different social media platform, kind of targeting, isn't it?
It's just weird behaviour. The club just seems to prioritise shit like that. I mean, it prioritised at times his podcast last year, it felt like, when they should have been fighting for relegation. It's just insanity.
Grow up.
You heard us. We'll give him a compliment now. Well, we'll give Aaron Howie a compliment at least, right? That Cillian Murphy graphic before the game.
So good, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Yeah, like he shouldn't be here.
No.
He should be over in the UK or
that was
France
my first thought.
Like if you were him now and you're sitting down going, what club will I apply for? I'd be going for someone like Real Mallorca or Las Palmas or somewhere with a beach. You know what I mean? You can fly home every few weeks, do your graphics from Cork, go back over to Mallorca. That's what I'd be doing. I wouldn't be going to
He could do the city graphics remotely from.
But you might as well want to be there. You want to meet the players. And you have to go over and meet them and get the pictures. And
yeah,
he's living. Well, potentially living the dream here, like because he's that good.
I know.
Someone's going to take a punt and someone's going to grab him and.
But like that stuff he does that goes viral every time, like putting some famous YouTuber or streamer that he lose. So then if they pick up on it and they see it and they retweet it out, that goes up massive.
Yeah, so I'd say now he's got if we get another year out of Howie now, build a design team around him, and he can go off with our blessing.
The first 2 million transfer in admin for the League of Ireland.
Absolutely, tie him down. Hey.
Decky, would you tie down Aaron Howie?
I knew that question was coming. The second Wayne said tie him down, I knew the question was coming, like, you know.
But he's really that good, like, you know, he is, and it's just, use him where we can.
Damien Delaney is going on the Rappers podcast this week. Is there any questions, Wayne, that you'd like to put to Damien?
No, not really.
No?
I respect him.
Decky, anything you'd like to ask?
It's not so much what I'd like to ask, but I am looking forward to finally finding out after, what are we at, 18 months or so now, what it is he does. You know? Genuinely, like, you're laughing now and thinking I'm being funny and whatnot, but I'm genuinely
because it's true.
God, Decky.
I'm genuinely,
this is good.
Hoping.
We shouldn't know what these people do. The problem is we fucking do know what they do. Well, some of them.
Nothing.
We should,
from what I can see. And again,
remember
that's
the story
not being smart.
Remember the story with the transfer window? Remember the transfer window story you had for us? What was that again?
Yeah.
Or was that private? I can't remember.
No, it wasn't. It was actually, I said it on the pod. I was just, that night I spoke to him. I approached him and I was like, what's happening? What's up? And he was like, this transfer window. I was like, the transfer window closed today, wasn't it, or whatever? And he was on about it's still been open for another couple of weeks. Then obviously it turns out he meant the free agency period, or, you know, where you could recruit free agents, which is what we did. But as I said, I'm not being smart and I'm not taking Damien's name in vain or anything. I just genuinely hope we find out what his actual role is and what it is he does. And, you know, that would be a start. The other question I saw, which was very apt and I thought was very funny, was somebody on the forum asked, what was the worst back pass of your career? You know, which I thought was quite funny, you know.
See, this is why they don't have it on Twitter, and it's only the Instagram ones where you can't put it up publicly.
But like, again, hang on now. But like, and I don't want to get into this stuff. But like,
we're knee deep already, Decky.
Yeah, but you want to run a podcast, which I listen every week. I'll admit I listen every week. We probably shouldn't be talking about it because we're going to encourage people to listen. But like, I thought the Malik Dykesteel interview last week was very, very, very good. It was great to hear from him. Malik then comes out, like Tim Clancy's been saying for a month that Malik is nearly there. You know, he's just a little bit. And then Malik comes out and says, yeah, I won't be fit till May. And then Tim Clancy has to change his thing after the game on Friday night. He has to say, yeah, Malik is a bit away yet, you know? And it's just subtle things like that I think are great. But, like, you're hiding. As you said, if you want to ask a question, you can ask it on Instagram. I don't have an Instagram account, so I can't ask a question. But it's done on Instagram because it's a DM. You know, that's the way it goes. They won't post it on Twitter because they know they're going to get a number of smart-ass answers, and I can't help but feel like that's hiding to a degree, you know? I mean, you're in the public spotlight, you're a football club. If you want questions for your podcast, put them on the most popular platform, which is still Twitter or X. And whatever comes in. But they just...
And they'd have to block them then.
They don't, like, and I just like, it's hiding, like, it's hiding to a degree, and I don't want to be critical of it because I think it has its time and place, and as I said, I think
it does. Like it's good to have it. I'm all for it, but there's so many elephants in the room like that.
Yeah,
it's just a shame that it's just being kind of used as a bit of propaganda rather than what's the word I'm looking for?
I guess it has to be propaganda. Like, you know, I mean, it has to be more or less. Like, Shelbourne official one is different. I mean, it's an official podcast, and they were calling out Shelbourne Football Club last week for charging 150 quid for mascots, calling it outrageous, and the club were ripping people off and everything else, which is unusual for an officially endorsed club podcast. But the lads were saying, look, this is our opinion, and we're not going to give a club's opinion. We're giving our own opinion, even though they all kind of work for the club or volunteer for the club in some way or another. So I thought that was interesting. As I said, they're giving out about their club charging 150 quid for mascots in the Premier Division. We're 250 in the First Division. So maybe the official club podcast might have to have a discussion on that, you know?
Yeah, do you think the club then are then crying and taking offence in the back of that, or would they just sit down and have a proper conversation about the prices of the mascot tickets?
Well, it seems it's at Shells that's the price. It's not going to change. But the lads on the podcast were just giving their opinion. And one of them is their media officer. You know,
Yeah.
Darren was just saying, "Shit, I think it's a disgrace." He's the media. He's interviewing Damien Duff on the pitch after a game and putting it out on their social media channels and whatnot. But he wasn't afraid to voice his own opinion in contrast to the club's opinion, even though he's on the official club podcast, which is...
That's the way it should be.
And it's an extraordinary way of doing it, to be fair, you know? Because I think most club podcasts are propaganda to a large degree.
There's a happy medium, I think. I think Shells are extreme and so are Cork City. There's a happy medium in the middle where you can work with people and fans and not also hang your club out to dry, but also not pretend everything's rosy in the garden, you know?
Is the Sligo one associated with the club?
Not officially. Like Borst are like Forest, you know? They're the Bitter Red Supporters Trust, exactly the same as Forest. So they do have access, obviously, to players and management at times throughout the season. But no, they give their honest opinion. I mean, like, they were roaring for managers' head at times last year. They were like us, taking players on and taking their name in vain and the rest of it, but it was never held against them.
Sorry, I'm after losing a track of myself. We go to a bit of football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cork City.
It's not great, like, is it?
By the way, I forgot to mention actually Malik. I thought he was Dutch, and then he comes on and is like, "All right, bruv." He's pure English, like.
Were you listening to the same podcast I was listening to? Because I didn't see it that way at all.
I thought he had a pure English accent on him.
Did ya?
Yeah.
I thought he was like, he is Dutch, obviously. He lived in England for a few years, all right. He was like, obviously his brother's at Middlesbrough, and he was saying how he lived with him, but I didn't see that, I have to say, Dan. Didn't see it, or didn't hear it.
One thought he would have been out of place in EastEnders anyway, and he came to Cork City basically through Neil Warnock, which I thought was another interesting thing.
Yeah, imagine. Neil Warnock had to ring Liam Buckley to tell Liam Buckley what to do. I mean, I was shocked. Stunned, I was. Stunned.
Right. Cork City 2, Bray 0. Cahill O'Sullivan. Is he still at 2 million?
3.5.
3.5 million. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so it can go up in increments of 1.5 now, or any increment.
It can go up by 250,000 as well. It can go up, yeah 3.5.
Can he lose?
3.5 or piss off.
Can he drop down in price?
Well, of course he can. Like, he might go down $500,000 now because he's playing for Ireland under 17s, which is beneath him. But
Cork City isn't.
He's like, his goal was like the guy's just magic. We're going to look back in years to come and go, and remember he was playing for Cork City. He's going to be, like I say it every week, what a superstar. Like,
Where do you think he's going to end up in 5-6 years' time?
I reckon he'll be on the continent somewhere. Nice to see him in Holland or somewhere like that. Hope he doesn't go somewhere like Ipswich or, one of those Middlesbrough kind of shite.
Preston
Go to the continent, or pick someone like, again, Real Mallorca, Spain. Bit of sun, bit of sea, sangria, have a bit of fun,
You're mad for the old Spanish lifestyle.
Well, no, not even that. Like, if you're going to like Italy, go to the Mezzogiorno. If you're going to like, if you're going to MLS, you go to LA. Like, I don't understand these lads who go to like, let's go to Glasgow. You know what I mean? I'd rather play for like Swansea, like, at least it's a bit of coast. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think if you're going to go somewhere like, go to France, go somewhere nice, go to Bordeaux.
Wayne Mullins, you're a professional footballer. You're 17 years old and you have the options to go to any club in the world. Where are you going and why?
I'd go to Nice or Real Mallorca.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Live the high life. Get an old apartment, 3-bed apartment looking over the beach. Get a pool, nice pool. What a way to live life.
Decky, where are you heading off to?
I'd say I'd probably somewhere like LA Galaxy or something like that.
Yeah.
Just for the lifestyle, you know you're going to get paid there. Lifestyle, as Wayne says, LA.
LA is supposed to be a bit of a shithole though, isn't it?
You'd live somewhere, like, you'd go somewhere else.
Yeah, you live somewhere nice anyway.
Yeah. Get a driver, it'd be fine.
We're here dreaming about LA and Barcelona. Jimmy Corcoran, how shite was he?
Living by the seaside. Yeah, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? And we were lots and balls in the box at one stage, and I was like, they're listening to the pod. They know what they're doing.
Sure, look, they're writing down the tactics from this pod, I'd say.
That's it, yeah.
Decky, your overall thoughts on this game? I mean, that second half was just sleep-inducing, really. But what did you make of it all?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously we scored twice early on, and I'm in a few groups with lads who are interested in Cork City, and every group was saying the same thing. This could be 6 or 7 the way we've started, and Tim talked about it afterwards, just like, especially second half, we just completely took our foot off the gas. But it's also kind of understandable. It's like we're almost victims of circumstance in that we're 2-0 up. We know once we go 2-0 up, these sides can't get at us, they can't get near us. So why wouldn't you just see the game out? I mean, obviously as fans, we want to see them score 5, 6, 7 or whatever it may be, but it's probably not practical. They're thinking about a long season ahead. Tim talked about it being subconscious, in that, they're just doing what they need to do to win the games and putting games to bed early and seeing it out. And look, I mean, at the start of the season, we said it doesn't matter. Win the games, win the league, we don't care, get up. That's the way it's going, and the fan base is starting to complain and moan and groan that we're not scoring 3, 4, 5, which I fully understand. But as I said, I think it's victims of circumstance, if that makes sense, more so than anything else. If we had to, we could have stepped up another 3 or 4 gears on Friday night, no problem whatsoever. But like, you're 2-0 up and they're just not capable of coming back into the game against you. Greg Bulger is just waltzing around midfield, literally waltzing around the middle of the park, like just running the game with probably one eye closed, to be honest with you. He was that good. But he's just head and shoulders above other players playing in the same position as him for the opposition, and that's why we brought him in. Obviously Tim Clancy knew that was going to be the story, and that's why he's brought him in, and look, it's worked. I was laughing because I saw the team of the week today and Carl O'Sullivan is in it in midfield, and Sean Murray's in it in midfield, both because they scored. And the one guy who absolutely dominated midfield, Greg Bulger, isn't in the team of the week, which is just
who picks
typical.
those?
Look, it's just they look down and see, oh, Carl O'Sullivan scored, Sean Murray scored, we put them in. This guy kept a clean sheet, we'll put him in. It's very hard to expect people to watch 5 games as well. They're probably pulling up some Y Scout stats and things like that and see good highest passing percentages and this kind of stuff. It happens on the women's side, on the women's team of the week as well, so I wouldn't take too much notice, but I did just think it was funny that Bulger was head and shoulders above anybody else on the pitch the other night, and because he had no impact on the score sheet or anywhere else, he was never getting in team of the week.
Wayne, do you think City should have scored more?
It was just, again, a professional performance, and it's not going to draw the crowds in, I don't think. Yeah, if we win, we win, yeah, fair enough, but it's just, everyone knows the graveyard division, and it was a hard slog Friday. It really was.
Is it just a hard slog to get to the games, or do you talk about
no, when you're at it, like, it was, you could hear everyone around was just talking, chatter. After 25-30 minutes, everyone's just talking. They're there to meet their mates. No one was kind of there saying, come on, City, or no one was kind of getting stuck in. We were 2 up and we were just cruising, and it was mundane. Which, look, we can't complain. We're top of the table. We're going to get promoted. But it's just...
Sure, we always knew this was going to be the case. We always knew. We always said it.
You can always strive for improvement everywhere. Even if you're winning every game 5-0, you always have to strive for improvement. And if our worst issue is the game's boring for the fans, we're in a good place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Outside of Bulger and O'Sullivan, who impressed you the most?
They were the 2 best players, weren't they? Murray did good, yeah.
He's in team of the week.
Again, Doherty number 9 again. Like, it's just...
That's going to be it for the season, I would imagine.
But it's wrong. It's wrong. Like, it's completely wrong. And I'd love to hear Tim Clancy's reasons. I'd love to sit down and wonder why he's doing that. Is he trying to bring the wingers as inverted wingers in? I don't know. I'd love to know the reasoning, because it's plain as day to me, and I'm not even in any way, shape, or form tactically knowledgeable. I can see it's wrong. Decky can see it's wrong. Everyone can see it's wrong. You don't have to. You don't even have to. If you're playing 4-4-2 and you had a big man next to him, that would work. Playing him as a back to the goal, I don't understand it. I really just don't get it. But obviously, he's a manager. He knows more. Like,
Decky, do you think this is going to cost us at some point over the season? I mean, we're probably going up regardless. Like,
no, I think we're going up. I mean, after the game Friday night, I was convinced we're going up because we were just so much better than Bray, and Bray was supposed to be our nearest challenger, or one of them, and it's just it would have to be something catastrophic happen, I think, for us not to go up as champions. And I mean, we're saying that after 5 games, and we were all worried about, it might be difficult. It's not going to be. It's a shit. The division is absolutely putrid, and there's no getting away from that. And we'll just do a professional job week in, week out, and overcome what's put in front of us. And yeah, look, there's going to be some night where we slip up, I think, undoubtedly, but. Just to go to your Jack Doherty question, I think it's happening simply because Tim wants to get his best players on the pitch. You have to play Jack Doherty, obviously. And I think it's a case of he's figured out that Wood isn't really a 9, but you have to play Wood, so he wants to play him from the left. McLaughlin isn't the best 11 players, but obviously he proved in the first 2 games that he doesn't really want to play from the left. He can't play from the left. So he wants him playing central. He's fitting Cahill into the team on the right. And I think it comes down to the fact that if he plays Doherty as a 9, and Doherty is kind of half adequate as a 9, then it allows him to play Wood in his best position, allows him to play McLaughlin in his best position, etc., etc. And I think that's basically how we've ended up, where we have ended up. It's going to be interesting next Friday night because... and we'll come to it later on. There is 3 lads away now with the Irish under-17s, and it's kind of funny that 3 lads with the Irish under-17s is going to cause an issue for a League of Ireland First Division side, but it is with our injury list and Barry Coffey being suspended and that, so something we'll have to have a look at. But like I think fundamentally it's just Tim looking to get his best 11 players on the pitch and how can he fit them in then to a system that works for him. And I think Doherty playing as the 9 is kind of a bit of a casualty of that need or want that Tim has.
Like, we're just going to bore people talking about Jack Doherty being a 9 for talking about it week on week, because that's one of the only things to talk about when we're dominating games the way we are. Do you think this is a better team or a better squad than the one we had last year, Wayne?
I think so, yeah. I think it would be. Bar Matt Healy when he started, Hakkinen. Yeah, the rest. I'm just surprised no journalist has asked him. It's the obvious question to ask. Why is Jack Doherty playing as a 9? I just don't understand how someone getting paid to journalism hasn't asked.
Dickie? Is this a better squad than last year's?
I think I'm going to go back to Wayne's thing about, we would have only drawn this lad. Like, how can you possibly say, you're compare, excuse me, like this time last year, we would have been playing Shamrock Rovers or St. Pat's. And you're trying to say, like, could this squad now play Shamrock Rovers and St. Pat's? I don't think so. I don't necessarily believe so. But would last year's squad have outplayed Bray Wanderers on Friday night? I think they absolutely would have. So which squad is better? I think it's very, very difficult to choose. I think there's more... I think this squad can grow, obviously, and it can mature into something that last year's squad couldn't. Obviously, because this squad is much younger. Sean Murray, as we've said before the season started, has the ability to play Premier Division football. Brad Wade is turning... I know I gave out about him for his mistake in Finn Harps, but he's 4 clean sheets in 5. He made another excellent save when he was called into duty on Friday night. He can't really do any more. So then you're thinking, well, yeah, Brad Wade could maybe turn into a Premier Division goalkeeper. Charlie Lyons could turn into a Premier Division centre-back. Matt Kiernan, who is now out for another 6 weeks or something because of a fracture in his leg, he could turn into a Premier Division left-back. John O'Donovan could turn into a Premier Division left-back. Harry Nevin could turn into a Premier Division, I'm going to say, right-sided midfielder as opposed to right-back. I think, and I don't want to hammer the lad because I think he's very, very good going forward. Excuse me, but not maybe as good defensively as you might need in the Premier Division.
Do you want to cut that out, Dickie?
I know. I think he could do a job as a wide-sided midfielder in the Premier Division. I do. We might never find out. Because he'd probably play a right back if we go up. But look, I think there's a Premier Division player somewhere in Harry Nevin. Jack Doherty deserves a shot. Evan McLaughlin, I think, can blossom into one. So yeah, there's much more room for this squad to grow into something and to be better in November or January of next year than, say, how do I put this? Than last year's squad might have been in January or March of that year, the comparable year, if that makes sense.
Carl O'Sullivan will be in Premier League rather than Premier Division. But on the stats here...
Yeah, I mean...
Go ahead there, Decky.
No, I was just going to say, obviously, I didn't mention Carl, I didn't mention Jade and Matt Murray, Joss Fitzpatrick, those guys, Aaron Healy. They're just presuming all of them continuing an upward curve and continue learning and would all be capable of playing Premier Division football next year. I think that goes without saying.
I'm just looking on the stats, and I know Bray were obviously chasing the game. City 47% of possession, Bray 53. Shots, City 10, Bray 8. Shots on target, City 4, Bray 2. Passes, City 331, Bray 349. It's probably... That doesn't suggest the domination that it was, perhaps, does it?
The game was over after 20 minutes, so...
Yeah.
Not very accurate. Well, it's accurate, but it's not very telling. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Absolutely not. And sure, Bray have to attempt to chase the game as well.
Yeah.
The only thing I would comment on, Dan, is again, and I said it last week, our offensive output, 10 shots in the game, nowhere near good enough. you know, for what we're capable of doing, what we're capable of putting together. We'd 4 shots on target. When Cahill scores the second, when did we go? Was it 19 minutes or something? He got the second to put us 2-0 up. Yeah. At that stage, we had 3 shots on target. We only had 1 more on target in the last 70 minutes. You know, as I said, and Tim knows it. You could hear from Tim's interviews after the game where he's talking about subconsciously maybe the players are switching off that. He knows, but he's also saying, give us a drier pitch, give us a better pitch. We have to. I think they deserve that time. I think Tim deserves that. If that's what he's saying, then he deserves for the fans to say, okay, that's fair enough, we'll give you that, because like he has done nothing wrong so far in any way, shape or form, to be honest. You know?
I think the only worry for me is the passing accuracy is 70%. It's nowhere near good enough.
Just because the pitches are shit at the minute?
Well, Bray had 74. Bray had 74, so, you know, whether that's panicking, whether it's long balls, and it's looking to stats more deeper. But I do know we did try a lot more getting the ball in the box than we used to.
Jesus, were you delighted?
Yeah. Football.
That's the stat. That's the only stat that matters.
Yeah.
Wayne, were you in the shed for the match?
I was.
Did Jimmy Corcoran get much shit?
Take the piss out of him.
Yeah,
but she has to be able to handle. I don't think he'll be there playing football next year. I just don't see it. Like,
fair enough.
I never hated him as much as most people did. I thought he was a decent shot stopper, but when confidence goes, you're done. Especially as a keeper, I think you need to have that people winding up doesn't get to you. And I think last season we all know that it got to him.
It's like golf. It's just a mental game.
It is.
Maybe that's why we're having all these events, to try find a new goalkeeper. The mental nerve.
Not a bad shout.
We're going to go now to the most prestigious award in world football. It is the Toe Tap MVP. No surprises here, really. Greg Bulger with over half the vote, 51%. Cahill O'Sullivan in second, 42.4%. Sean Murray with 3.7% of the vote. And Nathan Wood with 2% of the vote. And it's going to lead us nicely into our 2-word answer. Ryan Cronin comes in and says 5 million. Anthony, 5 million, Wayne, you on board with that yet?
I think it's a bit too high, but here, another 3 weeks, never know.
Exactly. Anthony O'Sullivan, I was just asking about the shit he got. Jimmy T-Rex. Callum comes in and says, Super Jimmy. Brendan Daly says, Zinny Cahill Zid Sullivan. Balshawn says, Jimmy Cockring. Duncan Noonan says, Jimmy's blunders. Ryan Fitzgerald, champions again. Anthony Falvey, comfortable win. Tony Daly, 15 minutes. Magpie, another 3 points. So it's 3 words. David Crowley, the Invincibles. Jamie Foley, Jimmy Corcoran. Gareth, the Dogger Barry, Watchdog. Linux Pizza, Dream Team. Sean, Greg Bulger. Dylan, Jimmy Corcoran, Philly Crowley, multi-million, Roy O'Sullivan, Boy Wonder, James Greenham, Disappointed Marymount, Conor O'Brien, Greg Bulger, Liam Roach, Jimmy Small, Jack Elher, Bulger Time, the Donny Ford, Ultra Mega Sergeant Platoon, Lovely Jubbly, Paul Higgins, Bulger Immense, Cheese, 2-0, Tommy Carney, Captain Bulger, Paul Desmond, Not Convincing, Owen Donovan, Poor Jimmy, Sean, Greg Bulger, Brian, No Vaping, Joe Langford, Rockin' Now, John Crow, Job Done, Nick Lopina, 3 million. Roseberry, brilliant win. Thomas, Poor Jimmy. Topper, thanks Jimmy. Sweeler, first division. And Mark Lonergan, absolutely shite. ... again. Anything you want to pick up on there? Absolutely shite. ...
Poor Jimmy.
Don't feel sorry for him?
No, I do. I feel very sorry for him.
Decky, anything you want to pick up on there?
Yeah, Wayne's going to lose his plot here, I know when I say this, but can I say something which I consider might be controversial? But Cahill O'Sullivan got an unbelievable goal, right? The XG on that goal is 0.05, which means it's basically 19-1 to go in. Outside of that, he didn't have a very good game.
Oh,
you were watching at home, weren't you?
That's why we have no journalistic integrity.
You were watching it at home, weren't you?
I was. I couldn't make it Friday.
His off-the-ball movement was Bundesliga style.
Was it? Okay. Okay. And like, please, no, people, listen. That's not me having a go at Colin Sullivan, right?
It kind of is.
All I'm saying is, no.
Harrington year one. Last year it was. Who was last year? Dan, was he had someone last year too, wasn't it?
Aaron Bolger.
No, he liked him. He was fapping him off weekly. Who was it last year? He was having a go off.
I'm not having a go off.
And this year now is Colin O'Sullivan.
I'm not having a go off. No.
I know. In fair, you are right. You are right. It was quite enough, but still, his one touches and stuff and his sharpness. I just thought.
He got a slap as well in the nose where I don't know whether he broke his nose or not. So that probably had an effect as well. I'm just saying. Unbelievable player, unbelievable standard. But of the 5 games he's played so far, that was probably his quietest. But in his quietest game, he gets an unbelievable goal, which is just off the scale.
If he didn't score, he wouldn't have been near the MVPs, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. But even, the goal, look at him. When he picks up, he slows the full back down, and then he's slowing him down deliberately because he knows he's going to quicken it up and go past him, And I think as well that, and this might sound weird, but the fact that he didn't shoot in Longford the week before, and he passed the ball to Jack Doherty when they were 2-on-1, and Doherty rolled it into the empty net. I think that gave him confidence because everybody spoke all week about how his decision making was so good for such a young player and how, he understood the situation. And I think that gave him confidence in his own decision making. So when he does the full back, everybody's expecting him to roll the ball back into the centre to Doherty again. And Jimmy Corcoran creeps off the post because he's expecting it to go in the centre as well. And Cahill sees him come off the post and just believes in his own decision-making and bang, it's gone inside Corcoran, inside of the post before anybody knows what's happened. And I just think the fact that he made the correct decision in Longford and got praised for it gave him the confidence to make what he believed was the correct decision the other night. And of course it was, because he scores an unbelievable goal from it, So it's funny by how not taking the shot in Longford and passing it leads to him not passing and taking the shot against Bray the other night.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Unreal.
He's what a talent. And anything you want to pick up on over the Bray game, are we done?
I think we're done. Professional job done. Move on.
Can I just give you one stat, not from the Bray game, but just from the First Division in general? Just Scotty's point. I think it goes a little bit about Scotty's point about the percentage of completed passes and things like that. The average number of throw-ins in a First Division game this season is 61.5, right? So, I mean, throw-ins have the First Division ruined from what I can see in terms of stats anyway. Because 61 throw-ins a game, that is...
Do you mean per game,
that's mental stuff. Yeah, jeez. That's mental stuff. That'll tell you how often the ball is just clear. It's out of play. Yeah, it's madness. Absolute madness.
All right, come back to... That is the end of the first half. Come back to us in the second half where we'll have You Say It Best, our treaty preview, as well as Panenka Patrol.
Hey, toe tapper. As you know, everything is increasing in price. Extra small clothes, anger management classes, raw liver is the same price as gold. And kids' sweets used to have 20 per pack and now only have 5 in each one. And Jack Doherty is on course to score 100 goals. And he's going to bleed us dry. We need you to help the gang by joining our Patreon for exclusive pods, news and much more. For $5 a month, you can ensure that Wayne doesn't smash up his laptop, that Dan has really small clothes, Eileen is satisfied, and Declan gets lots and lots of jellies. Head to patreon.com/toe tap to support the cause.
Welcome back to part 2, Toe Tapper. It is now time.
You say it best when you leave a voice note.
Gets me every time.
Just before
is St. Patrick joining us on the pod?
No, he's not. It looks like St. Patrick is uncontactable. Probably with a snake somewhere after his other snakes got beaten yesterday. But,
pulling the snakes off, is it?
Just before we play the WhatsApp messages, just to let people know, there's another chant. There's a couple of Jimmy references, but it starts off with one fella out the Mallow Road looking for a particular site. And he's already changed his name on WhatsApp because I saw it pop up or heard it pop up in the 2-word answers. So there's no music this time, no intros. It just went with the plain old messages, and I think it actually works better.
Sorry, lads, I couldn't make the match. I'm up here on the Mallow Road, and that kind of, the dogging area. I have to keep down up, but I can't see it on the road, like. I think I'm too early, or else I'm in the wrong spot. Does anyone know where the dogging station place is it? This is Dogger Barry out. Let me know how the match get on. Bye.
Dogger Barry.
I'm in the background there, noise. Now I'm in the beer garden after having a few pints before and after the game. Lads, Carlo special is unreal. He's something else. Few heavy touches by Jack Doherty tonight. Good to see Jade Nume coming on. 15 years of age. His birthday's in 2 days' time, so we wish him a happy birthday on the pad there when he gets going. The future is bright for Cork City. I noticed Damien Delaney too in the old box there, having a great time. Good to see him. I was chatting away to him for a small while. Yeah, lads, 3 points, 2-0. I can't see us losing this season. I know put a jinx in it now, but fuck it, I can't see us losing this season. We'll keep going. Up to City.
Jimmy!
Cork City, #1!
When you score, you make the city sing. Carl O'Sullivan, Carl O'Sullivan. Every time he's on the ball, we know there's gonna be a goal. Carl O'Sullivan, na 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 na. Na, 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 na.
Wow. Is he doing that unironically?
I don't know what he's doing, but lads, I tell you, that's probably the best collection of WhatsApp messages we've had so far.
Was that Mark McNulty in the second one? Jesus.
I don't know, but like out of nowhere, Damien Delaney's after getting 3 or 4 mentions in this podcast tonight, having not been mentioned for 18 months since he joined the club. They all come, it's like buses, they all come along together, like, you know. You have Dogger Barry out the Mallow Road. Did you hear him? He's saying he started to say Doggin Station and then he changed station to place. So it sounds like he has way too much information or knows exactly what he's talking about. Like, I haven't a clue, but that one worried me. Like, and your man then with his awful Carl O'Sullivan chant. But sure, look, fair play to him. Keep him coming. This is what we want.
What a bunch of fans.
Wayne, was the McLaughlin one chanted in the shed at all? That's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. If that goes on, if we're bored at a match and that goes on for full 45 seconds, that would absolutely be that'd be absolutely incredible.
We need to release this on Twitter. On Instagram. We have to.
And a reminder, the WhatsApp number, if you want to take this down, you can contact us on is 089 452 7762. That is the WhatsApp number. That's a direct line to you there, Decky, is it?
We won't. No, it's not a direct line to me. We won't.
Can I just say, whoever keeps ringing the phone at like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going to answer it. All right, you can keep ringing if you want. You can ring as much as you want. I'm not answering it. All right, so just fucking leave me alone.
Why is this number coming from the Hay Club?
If you click on the tweet, the number, it brings you directly to WhatsApp, so you don't even have to write the number down. Just click on the tweet link and send it. Just do it.
Yeah, and like there's an hour's journey back from Treaty on Friday night. Cars full of City fans. Like, I mean, what an opportunity to get your WhatsApp messages into the pod. Like,
and you would probably be passing. They'd probably be passing the Doggin station as well on the way.
They will. Or like the last time, they can stop the whole bus, the corner bus or whatever bus it was, can stop outside the Buttevant, outside the chat or the convent in Buttevant. 40 of them pile off the bus and all start pissing up against the wall. Like. It's like a flood down the road in Buttevant. But, you know, things you see that you never wanted to see. You know, oh lads.
We had a few texts that came in on the WhatsApp as well as dick pics. Listening to the Dick Carey pod.
Dick pics.
Oh, dick pics. That's a good one. That's the name of the pod. That's the name of the pod. He's like, oh. Yeah, so just on the back of the whole dogging thing, if you do see Decky, of course, we have a new segment. We have a new segment
on the back of the dogging on the back of the dogging thing.
On the back of that, as we were talking about it. If you happen to meet Decky up in Markets Field, we're having a new segment now called Deck Pics. So you just send us your pics with our dick.
Lads, be very careful now. I'm going to get. Oh my word! I might just stay home from Marcus Field altogether. Can I get a deck pic with you? Oh my god!
Put pictures on the WhatsApp.
Oh shit! All right. We also had a few texts on the WhatsApp line. Listening to the Dick Carey pod, I think I actually ended up paying $700 for that Patsy China jersey in the end. People were just bidding what they had to save the club through for us. I was like, I don't have the time that John O'Sullivan and his team had to get involved, but I have some spare cash. When do you want to pick up on that one?
What was the question?
I don't know. It was more of a statement than a question.
It's just the chap saying he paid £700 for Patsy's jersey, the China jersey, that time that they were fundraising for Forest. You know, something we spoke about last week about people selling more.
Absolute fortune for the club is getting the old Ireland jersey and sticking the Cork City logo on it. It would make an absolute fortune.
Would they be allowed to do that?
No, it wouldn't be allowed.
No. Oh well, good idea then.
Can you sell it in? Can you sell it in the Marina Market?
Were we there this week?
No. Away games only. So we'll be there next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Another text from the WhatsApp. Coleman, excellent. Again, love the fella. Also, I sit in the shade to the left-hand side, not in the seeing section. Your man Connor transforms the atmosphere in the shade, multiplied by 100. He gets the whole block engaged. It's brilliant. Some of these commandos are an embarrassment. The old commandos must watch on in shame. Big shout there from that texter, Decky. That's calling the commandos out.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's one person's opinion. Toe Tap doesn't endorse that opinion in any way, shape or form. Connor does get the section going by all accounts, so fair play to Connor, but we're in no way endorsing one person's view of the commandos. Toe Tap likes all Cork City fan groups and wishes to engage with them all and wish them all the best, except for the Fockers. Yeah. Fuck them.
New idea: pyros at Bishopstown. Decky, were you in favour of this?
That was just a bit random, wasn't it? It's just random.
Is that for training or the women's game?
Well, it would maybe give away our position from the hedge.
Hey. Yeah, for the under 16 games or under 15 games, Dan, is it? How would I finish the joke? Yeah.
A reminder, send those deck picks in to 089 452 7762. Treaty away this Friday night. After a bit of dogging, who doesn't like a bit of football? Who starts? Who's out? Decky, keeping the same team. What are you doing? We could forget the majority is a 9 thing because that's just going to happen again.
I tell you what, I'm not doing no is I'm not going to Markets Field, that's for sure. No, look, I obviously can't keep the same team because Cahill isn't available. So there has to at least be one change. It then depends really on, is Bagsy fit to start? He didn't come on last Friday night, so you'd have to suggest that maybe he's not going to be fit enough to start, and they'll obviously want to introduce him and get him 10 minutes here, 20 minutes, build him up. So I'm going to presume Bagsy won't be fit enough to start. You're then looking... I'd love to see Dara Crowley back on the bench, because you're going to miss Jade Numa and Matt Murray from the bench. So there's two that needs to come in there. Tim has said that Dara Crowley is back in full contact training. So maybe he makes the bench, which would be brilliant to see and brilliant for Dara, and everybody's looking forward to seeing him back. Aaron Healy wasn't in the squad last Friday night. I don't know why. I actually didn't ask. I'll be honest, I forgot to go try and figure it out or check it out or to ask around. But
you're deleting that anyway.
If Aaron is injured and isn't available, that causes an issue. If Aaron was available, I think I'd be starting with Aaron, Bulger and Murray as the central three. I'd play McLaughlin from the right. I think he's much better from the right than he is from the left, and I'd leave the rest the same. Doherty as a 9 and Woods on the left. If Aaron Healy isn't available, you then have an issue, I think. And I think if that's the case, he has to go 3 at the back. I think he has to change the shape, because he's going to probably have to bring in Brookwell. And he did it last Friday night. Well, 20 minutes left or so was it? Brookwell came in and we went to 3 at the back. And as I said, with Barry Coffey still suspended, if Aaron Healy isn't fit to play, you're missing Carl O'Sullivan, so you're probably going to change things around. I could see him going with 3. Also because they're playing Enda Curran up front, he might want to get a couple of bodies in around Enda Curran, and a good way of doing that is with the 3. So then you go to Brookwell, Coleman and Lyons at the back. Nevin is a wing back on that side. John O'Donovan is a left-sided wing back. You Bulger, Murray and McLaughlin as a 3 in the centre, and then you get Scotty's preferred option of playing Doherty and Wood as a 2 up top, and see how that goes.
Wayne, what are you doing tactically?
Yeah, I'd go with Decky's second choice of the 3-5-2, which would be more of a 3. Yeah, it'd be 3-5-2, not a 5-3-2. Or else would could Sean Murray go on the right?
He doesn't strike me as somebody who you really want to play out there. I think he's very good in the centre, he is very good in the centre.
Well, yeah, I think the 3-5-2 makes more sense, because you're going to have Nevin, who's very fast and very fit, and then on the left you go Donovan, who's solid, very solid, and he could push in as a 4 at the back if need be.
The other thing, Dan, just to bear in mind, is that Treaty this season in the games they've played, they're only averaging 40% possession per game, which is the lowest in the division at the moment. So they're obviously happy to allow other teams to have the football. So if they're going to allow us to have the football and allow us to dominate the football, I think the 3-5-2 can work as well, because it will allow us to get the ball forward. I said Doherty playing off Wood. If we're going to have a lot of the ball, we want to ask them different types of questions. Nevin can get up one side, Donovan can get up the other side and try and cause them problems, because they've been quite good defensively, and we need to give them something to think about as well. So I think if we're going to be allowed to dominate possession, which their previous game says that we will be, and I had planned on watching them against Longford on Saturday night, and the game was called off, so I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch them for 90 minutes. But as I said, the numbers say they will allow us to have the football, so if we're going to dominate the football, we might as well try and use it well, and give ourselves different options and give them something different to think about, compared to what they may have seen us do already,
Yeah, Treaty, they have a game in hand over us. They're on 10 points. We're on 13, of course. I mean, their last few games, like a 2-2 draw against Bray, lost 4-1 to Kerry in the Cup, only beat Kerry 1-0 in the league. Are we threatened by them at all, or should we win this handy? Decky?
They're not threatening me anyway, I'll be honest with you. And that's no disrespect. It's just, as I said, like lines of form. As you said, they drew 2-2 with Bray and were very forced. Bray should have beat them in the last minute. Keeper made a great save from Treaty. They won 1-0 in Kerry. Kerry missed a penalty in the last minute. So they've gotten away with things a little bit. But you can't see a side who drew 2-2 with Bray getting anywhere near us based on what we did to Bray last Friday night. And that's not being arrogant or not being any of those things. It's just, it's the truest line of form that exists at the moment for both clubs. Goes through Bray. We destroyed them. Treaty were lucky to get out with a point in the end. Haven't gotten 2-0 up.
Yeah. Wayne, give us your prediction.
2-0. Game over after 30 minutes.
Who's scoring?
Jack Doherty, Panenka, and Nathan Wood.
Decky, prediction and who's scoring?
Prediction. I'm going to say, seeing as we've played 5 games and they've all been under 2.5 goals, I'm going to say 4-2 City. Who's scoring? Yeah, Doherty. Not sure he'll go with the Panenka option though. Bit early yet. Keane Coleman from a corner. Sean Murray will get in. Sean Murray's going to go on a run of goal scoring. He's got one now. He's going to go on a goal scoring run. And I'm going to say Evan McLaughlin gets one as well.
Okay.
Will we add an extra tenner onto the Panenka for this week?
€160.
Yeah.
We'll come to that in a sec. Go on, Decky.
No. If you're coming to it in a sec, that's fine.
I'll say 3-0 City, Doherty, Lions, and McLaughlin. Why not?
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
What you're hearing now is from the future in a roundabout way. We recorded the pod yesterday, but news broke this morning that Treaty United are only giving an away allocation of 350 tickets for the upcoming game in Marketsfield on Friday night. And it's just me and himself. Here we are. Decky, your initial thoughts after hearing that there was going to be a 350 ticket allocation for the Cork City fans. Now, obviously, that won't affect you and me. We'll be eating sandwiches in the press box that's better than the Easy Living Suite. But what was your initial thoughts when you read it?
My initial thought is connected to that, Dan. My first personal initial thought was, I'm not going to get a ticket. Then you make the joke about, we'll be eating sandwiches and whatnot. But honestly, that's not the way I work. I'm if I can't get a ticket through the same means that any other Cork City fan gets a ticket, then I'm not going. I'm not somebody who thinks that because I know people at Treaty and they would give me a ticket and would leave us in and whatnot, that I'm in somewhat of a privileged position because of the pod that I would take advantage. That's not how I look at the world, or how I've no entitlement to a ticket before any other Cork City fan. So if I get a ticket, I will go through the same means as everybody else. If I don't, I won't. But I think it's disappointing. I think 350, we've a history of taking 500 or 600 fans down there for previous fixtures in this division. Never with an issue, always without a problem.
But sure, they weren't close. Treaty's excuse was they're going to sell out. They weren't close to selling out those games, as far as I can remember.
But to be fair now, different time, different space. Like, this is top 2. They are, it is top 2 in the division on Friday night. They are at home. The big club is coming to town. Everybody wants to see Cork City. So I don't think it's a massive step to say that they expect to sell out. I can understand why they expect to sell out. It's just the 350 thing. Like their safety officers was what they submitted to the FAI was attendance was our safe capacity of the ground was 3,500, which entitles us to 350. I presume that doesn't include if you were to stand on the grassy banks. If you're looking out at the way end on the left-hand side, all that grassy knoll area there. I mean, I know everything is safety certs and certificates and health and safety and all that, but I mean, it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing because I think there will be City fans miss out on tickets, and at the end of the day, it's the League of Ireland First Division. It's not a division really in which anybody needs to miss out on a ticket for a game if you want to go to a game. But look,
yeah,
it is what it is. There's not a whole lot anybody can do about it.
Yeah, from Treaty's point of view, do you think it's just the home allocation they're trying to get, or do you think there's maybe more reasons why that's the case? They're not giving us enough tickets.
No, I think it's like there is an element of, our fans and our reputation goes before us to a degree. I think that's undoubtedly it. Treaty are saying that they have an extra cost and that they've been told there has to be more Gardaí, there has to be more stewards, there has to be more toilet facilities and all this kind of stuff. So they are going to extra expense. I understand that. The whole extra Gardaí in that. Look, it's not for me to comment on Gardaí numbers or anything else, but there's never been a serious issue at one of these games. Yes, there's always people with pyro. Yes, there's always people with smoke bombs. We've said to fans numerous times, please don't do it, please don't bring them. They're against the rules, everything else. And there is an element now of previous excursions the City fans have had to Limerick coming back to bite them on the arse.
They haven't been because that bad.
No, they haven't, but there has always been incidents with pyro, Dan. I mean, there's no point in us coming on here and pretending that there hasn't been. Like, there has. I'm just saying it as I see it, and that's not having a go at our own fan base. I'm just saying that this is one occasion where the chickens are coming home to roost a little bit in that way. But Treaty are within their rights. I mean, the 10% rule was brought in after the Shamrock Rovers and Bohs debacle 2 seasons ago, where Bohs didn't want to give Shamrock Rovers any tickets and they were squabbling back and forth on Twitter and whatnot. And in fairness to the FAI, they said, right, if you can't sort it out yourselves, we'll sort it out. And they put this 10% clause in the participation agreement. And everybody thought, well, brilliant. But the 10% was always meant to be a minimum, not a maximum. And I think clubs have spun it around now and are using it. Well, you're only entitled to 10%, so we're only giving you 10%, And I don't think that was ever the spirit of the rule. Of course, Derry City are the only ones who step outside of that and just do what they want, and are giving about 3% this year. And when the FAI got involved, they just basically, Derry said they came to an agreement with the FAI. So the 10% is in the participation agreement, but if you're Derry City, you don't have to hit the 10% because you have an agreement with the FAI. So are any of these things in the participation agreements actually rules, and do they actually mean any more than the paper they're written on? But I'm going away on another tangent now again, but look, it's disappointing. As I said, I do fear that genuine fans will miss out. Not everybody's a season ticket holder. I'm not a season ticket holder, so there are lots of us on the hook trying to get tickets and hoping that they will go on general sale. But
yeah,
I guess the point we wanted to make was that, having spoken to people in Treaty today, I don't believe there will be a second batch of tickets released. It is 350 and 350 only, from what I've been told.
Yeah, if we knew at the start of the season maybe that this might be an issue, more people might have bought season tickets. I know, look, I didn't get a season ticket. I didn't think going to matches would ever be an issue, and look, I could always apply for media, let's face it, but people out there wouldn't have ever considered that this might be an issue in the slightest.
Yeah, look, I mean, everybody knew Kerry was going to be an issue because of the size of the ground. I don't think anybody thought there was going to be an issue with any other League of Ireland First Division ground, but there is. And look, here's the thing, and I want to say it again, Treaty are well within their rights to limit it to 350. It's 10%. It meets the criteria. It meets the quota. And, there's not a whole lot we can do. Obviously, to be fair to Cork City, they looked for more tickets initially, and, we're told it couldn't be accommodated and whatnot. So it kind of is what it is, really,
Okay, but that means the fans and us are going to miss out on deck picks come Friday night.
It does. It probably means no deck picks, but look, there'll be other nights and other away games. But look, I think there could have been a like City obviously asked for an allocation that was more than 350. Treaty offered, whatever it was, 350. I think you can go more. I do. I genuinely believe you can go more.
500 anyway.
I think there could have been a happy medium put somewhere, but look, Treaty I can't say it enough. They're within the rules, and so you can't really criticize them. It's like, are they taking money out of their own pocket? There's an argument that maybe they are, but if they're going to sell out and they believe they're going to sell out, then they're not. I think it's only after the event we'll know whether they have or they haven't taken money out of their own pocket. It is what it is. But the message that I wanted to get out basically was that there won't be a second bunch of tickets.
All right, Dickie, thanks very much. I don't know where we'll be jumping back in the pod, but enjoy the rest of it, or it might be over.
I just hope and pray no Thursday morning Treaty don't say, here's another 200 tickets, and make a complete fucking ass out of us,
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
We're going to come now to Panenka Patrol here on ToeTap.
Panenka. None of us know what Panenka Patrol is, but look, we'll give it a go anyway.
I've been jacking up.
No, we do.
Beating my meat. You left me and I'm in heat. What else can I do? 'Cause my wet dreams are just getting true.
Did Jack Doherty score at Panenka this week for €150 for the much needed facilities in Marymount? No. And that was Panenka Patrol.
Play it again.
I've been jacking up, beating my meat. You left me and I'm in heat. What else can I do? 'Cause my wet dreams are just getting true.
Should we start increasing the value of the score Panenka week on week, much like Conal O'Sullivan's transfer fee?
Can I just say something on this now? Because if you're going to go up a tenner a week, no, I've no problem with it. I've no bother spending money. But this is game 6 this week, right? How many games are we playing total? 36, isn't it? So there's another 30 games. So if he starts out 150, if he doesn't do the Panenka to the last game of the season, that's 450 quid if you add a tenner a week by the time we get to the end of the season.
We take a $5 off for every time he scores, but doesn't do a Panenka. There's pressure for
he can only do a Panenka from a penalty. Like, he can't do it from.
If he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, go down in the box, just dive.
I think we're getting very.
He can also get a penalty from not scoring. Like Keane Coleman could get an elbow in the head, we get a penalty, so he's also gaining from that. Look, this is Jack Doherty's problem to figure out. Like, it's not. We're just playing the cash. He's got to figure out how to do this.
I mean, like all the people in Marymount were huddled around LOI TV on Friday night waiting for him to score up Panenka. Like, I mean,
but like, as I said, there's the key component in this is that first we have to be awarded a penalty, and we may not get another penalty all season. Who knows?
He doesn't have to score from a penalty.
No, Panenka's a penalty. Well, he could do it from a free kick too if he wants, but that's very, very, very difficult to do. No, it has to be a penalty. It has to be a penalty.
It's a 30-yard Panenka. Woo.
We can't be offering referees money. That's a bribing, do you know what I mean?
Who's reffing Monday night or Friday night? Hang on. See if we have a phone number.
Rob Harvey here in the Tenner Club. Right, up a tenner, and every time he scores, it's not a Panenka, it goes on a $5, okay?
Come here.
Right.
And who's are you? If you're tracking it, fine. But like, don't turn around in 6 weeks' time and go, I thought Dickie was tracking it. So which is it? Like, no chance.
But that means as the time goes on, Jack's just going to leave it off until the final day of the season.
But if he scores 30 goals, he's down 150 quid. Like,
but you can't. Like, I don't agree with fining him for scoring, but it not being because like. If he curls one into the top, if he curls one into the top, no. If you're talking about fining him for penalties he scores that aren't Panenkas, then
okay. A fine of €50 for every penalty he doesn't Panenka.
No, stop.
No, this is. We have to have a bit of. No, he'll just have to the end of the season, and he'll just wait in the season. There's no jeopardy in it. We need jeopardy in this situation.
Why don't we just simplify it and just leave it at 150 quid if he scores a Panenka, and forget about adding to it and forget about taking off from it and everything else. Just leave it simple. 150 quid. And at some stage later in the year, you can go, let's make it 200 because it hasn't happened yet or whatnot. But like,
okay, let's make it 200 now and leave it at that.
Okay. Right, okay.
That's going to rise to 250, 300 very quick.
We got 250, final answer. All right.
I tell you
250.
I'm glad, like, just remind me, Dan, never send Wayne into any negotiations for us anyway, because Jesus Christ, he's betting against us, he's negotiating against us.
Beautiful to see him do it, and it would just like the cause and everything.
It would.
Just, my own bitterness would just dissipate and just flow away from me forever. If he did that.
Would you jack off inside and turn his cross if he scores a
no, stop it, you, Jesus Christ, looking barred. Take his job
again.
Right, we're going to go to a bit of Cove Watch, sectionally formerly known as Jacking Off with Dickie. Look, we heard the song already. No need to go. We heard it twice even. We won't go for again. Drew 1-1 with Kerry. But what are they in the table? Fifth in the table.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everyone else, bar City, really is just fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think so at this stage, to be honest with you. I actually heard Gary Hunt on, what did I hear him on? Oh, he was on a podcast during the week. And he was saying that they're due back in Coleman's Park for their first game in April. So this game on Friday night against UCD should be their last game in Turner's Cross, all things being equal. So as Wayne has pointed out previously, I think they'll be more comfortable getting back home to Coleman's Park. Also frees up to a degree the use of Turner's Cross, and maybe we see the pitch improve there as well. But look, they're home to UCD Friday night. I think UCD haven't been great the last couple of weeks. There's no reason why Cove can't win that game or definitely get a result. It was a nothing game against Kerry. Like, I don't know. They went the goal down, like, and then they scored within 2 minutes to equalise. What was their man's name? O'Leary got a very good equaliser. I'm going to presume he meant it, that he did open his body and curl it into the far corner, that it wasn't a shot, or it wasn't a cross that went on. That would be very hard, or very harsh, I should say. So you kind of expected them to push on, and they didn't. I know they had a lot of the ball and I think they had 9 shots on target or something, if I remember correctly. And they just couldn't score fundamentally. Let me just check here now. Yeah, they had 20 shots, 9 on target, an XG of 2.04. So they were a goal behind their expected goals. Probably a game they'll feel that they should have won, but they didn't. So,
oh well, let's go to the mailbag.
Just on that though, I think they've approved the takeover, so there's a bit of cash coming their way in investment.
Good for them.
Oh yeah, there was a meeting. They were putting 2 or 3 options to the membership down there, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, and they approved. I'm not sure which one it is, but they've approved. I wonder if it's the same one that met in Fota. I remember last year.
Yeah, I wonder is that DC? Has DC brought new ownership and the whole lot in there already? You know.
Postman Pat, and in black and white cat.
The cat makes
early in the morning.
Liam Roach comes in and says, would Wayne like to slap an extra $1 million onto Cathal O'Sullivan's transfer fee after Friday night? It's $1.5 million.
Well, we're saying is, what did we say, 2.5? 3.5, didn't we?
You're on 3.5, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're at.
Born Keane Coleman says, loved the film and crisp talk, obviously, like top answers. For each of you, what's your favourite household chore to do and the one you hate the most? Filling the dishwasher to extract maximum capacity is my favourite. Changing bedclothes drives me spare, lads. Dickie, are you a dab hand around the house?
Not really, let's be honest. I do my own washing because, look, honestly, she just reached the point where she point blank refused to do my washing anymore. So I now have to do my own.
The amount of spunk of these jocks was unbelievable.
Not quite. I think it was just the amount of stuff thrown on floors and in corners and hanging out of washing baskets and whatnot and never making it to the washroom. So a stance was taken. So yeah, I can do my own washing and I bake my own bread. And outside of that, then I don't have much more going for myself.
You can bake bread. You're a baker.
I bake my own bread, yeah.
Is there a reason why you bake your own bread? Just you like it? Are you saying that's your favourite household chore?
Yeah, I think baking my bread, yeah. I mean, it's, throw some stuff in the bowl, mix it all up. The secret, lads, always is to use buttermilk and not ordinary milk. Get the buttermilk in there, whip it up into the pan and bing it. Forget the oven, no. Stick it into the air fryer. 25 minutes in the air fryer. Perfect. Leave it cool down. Lovely brown soda bread. Can't go wrong. No.
Wayne, would you like to sample Dickie's?
I'd love brown soda bread with a bit of melted cheese and butter on it. Nice idea. Well, not melted in a microwave, just kind of self-melted,
And Dickie, what's your least favourite household chore?
It's one of two, Dickie. It's not that hard,
Household chore. I hate. Well, I don't have to wash up anymore, but when obviously you have dishwashers and that, but I hate physically having to do any form of washing up.
Wayne,
or washing the floors. Washing the floors.
Washing the floors. Wayne, we'll come to you here.
Yeah, I'll do a bit of everything. Cook, clean, bring the kids to school, do the homework, bedtime. Do it all.
What's your favourite and least favourite?
I think the favourite is putting the kids to bed, I think. Putting the kids to bed and doing their homework with them. I think it's valuable. I think I enjoy it. I don't like doing
But is that a household chore? Is that a household chore?
You have to do the kids' homework and stuff. Well,
baking bread really isn't a household chore either.
What do you classify as a chore? I do a bit of everything. I did the cooking, not tonight, I did it last 2 nights. I don't like emptying the dishwasher. Okay, I don't like doing that. I don't like gardening. I don't like doing the gardening. I hate the gardening. Can't stand it. Cutting the grass, picking up dog shit. Can't stand it.
What is it about Big Bush you don't like?
Not a fan of it, man. Not a fan.
No.
How would you? These new age times.
They're always clean in the modern times, I'd say.
Okay.
Right.
What's your favorite, Dan? Come on.
My favorite. I do love a good Hoover. I do like a bit of Hoovering.
What kind of Hoover do you? It's vacuuming. It's not a Hoover. Hoover's a brand, Dan.
I didn't know that. We had a Henry.
Oh, Henry Hoover.
It's a Dyson now, but the Henry lasted 20 years.
Jeez,
this is boring Keane Coleman personified talking about shite.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, man. We're worse to be engaging,
Right. Garrett the Dogger Barry comes in and says, how many points are we going to get this season? And surely we should be in this league for full time. How many points are we going to get this season? And surely we should be in this league for full time.
I presume that by 4.
He should. I presume that means he meant win this league, is it? 6 is 18. So 108 is the maximum points available. We've already dropped 2 of them, so we can now get 106.
106 up.
Galway.
106
What did Galway get last year? 90 something, was it?
90 something, 98 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They drew 6 and the last 2, wasn't it?
I think we'll probably end up
4
somewhere.
Last 2.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up somewhere.
Go for 100 points.
I think we'll end up somewhere around 90. No, sorry. Maybe about 88, somewhere around that.
Comes in and goes, I love going to city games down the cross, but the biggest thing that annoys me at the moment down there is at halftime, they just play popular songs. To me, it kills the atmosphere. Right before second half kicks off, the past 3 games, they've been playing Stick Season, a pure mellow song. And past years was Ed Sheeran Nothing to get the crowd going or excited for the second half. Turner's Cross should be a fortress for away teams, and fans should be anxious playing in there. Yes, these songs make us look like a creche.
Dan!
Did that not come in via DM?
Oh, it did.
Just bleep it.
Just
we'll have to
bleep
bleep
it.
out. We'll have to bleep out the name.
Not saying we should have Frank and Walters on again like we would before kickoff, but they should play something with a bit more tempo.
The thing with Frank and Walters is they need to play it not from the start, but from where it kicks in, because by the time it kicks in, the game started.
And they were going with that Shaggy and the Dropkick Murphy's Blood one. Like, whose decision
is
that?
It's the club, I'd imagine, are choosing them.
And like this happy clappy playing Harry Styles before and a half time in the matches. Like,
but you see, in the 90s, I remember they used to play like, Jesus, 92, 93, you'd be hearing Extreme More Than Words. Remember that? That was the chart. It's always been chart. You'd hear Simply Red. All that stuff was played in the 90s. So it's what we play. It's what we've always played. You have to play popular music when there's people of all ages and distinctions there, you know? So I get why they're doing it. Just change it up a bit.
Would a bit of Carnival de Paris not go down well, like, no?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Again, that was pre-COVID, like, times have changed, haven't they?
And then another DM comes in and says, Who's
that from, Paul?
It is actually. Who would be a replacement for Cathal O'Sullivan on Friday night against Treaty?
Aaron Healy.
Jackie?
Yeah, I think if Aaron is fit, he would be the natural one with McLaughlin going wide right. But I wouldn't be stunned if we see a change of system, as I said, with Brockwell coming in at the back.
And then Dylan Murphy _AFC on Instagram comes in and says 3 million Irish euros paid up front. Well, Wayne's gone to 3.5.
3.5, yeah. I take 3.
For this week.
3 and a 25% sell-on clause. It doesn't expire.
Right. Big thank you to our Patreons. And you can subscribe to us on Patreon, patreon.com/ToeTap from €5. Lads, any final thoughts on the week ahead, Wayne?
Just have fun in Limerick. Let's get the 3 points and go home.
Dogging spots, deck picks.
The whole lot. Send them on. Not at 3 o'clock in the morning because my phone's going to be off. I'm going to turn it off. It's not my phone. I'm just saying I'm going to turn the phone off.
Could we manage it that we get a deck pick from the Dogging spot?
I don't really want to have it because I'm the first person who's going to see it and I don't really want to see it.
No, you won't, because the Dogging spot is back towards Cork. My house is on I'm on the Limerick side of the Dogging spot, so I have no intention of driving back. Because sure, I lived in Grenagh. I know exactly where the spot is, you know. It's the
is there actually a spot there?
Car park. Yeah, it's the car park there before you turn left off the main Limerick Road to head up into Grenagh. Oh yeah, absolutely. Whole country knows that, sure. I'm not going back towards Cork just to take pictures with random blokes in a Dogging site. God, how did I ever say that? Said this publicly. Like. Jesus Christ.
Is that your final thought for the week, Dick?
My final thought is if we win Friday night, we win the league after 6 games. Confirmed league winners after 6 games. No, whatever you thought I was going to say, I'm certainly not saying it.
All right. There's only one thing left then to say, and that's...
Dan, what's your thoughts? Come on.
What's my final thoughts?
Yeah.
Lads, I don't have any. It's just such a boring season, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Like we're there talking about... It's not really to talk about football-wise. Like, I mean, last season you had all tackly such you could do different stuff. Now it's just like shagging on about Jack Doherty's 9 every week. Like,
such as life in the graveyard.
But
we knew this would happen. We knew it was going to happen.
The club will always provide content for ToeTap to discuss, no matter.
They will.
As when we keep thinking they won't, they will. As I was saying, there's nothing else left to say except adios, amigos.
Au revoir.
Adios.
The Other 3 Amigos podcast with Damien Shreenan, Wayne Mullins and Declan McCormack.
3 lads, 1 podcast.